My people. We gotta talk about it, man. We gotta talk about it. The New York State Athletic Commission is on the hot seat. Everybody's waiting for the decision. You know, when it comes to fans, um, fans seem to be split with regards to what should happen. Um, there's fans who want the decision to remain the same for Tank Davis and Lamar Roach to stay on as a draw. And then there's also fans who say, no, wait a minute, it should be overturned. Lamar Roach should be the winner. And right now, basically, it's all about what the New York State Athletic Commission is going to decide. I think that they're in the hot seat, they're under pressure simply because if you think about it, there's a lot of fighters who have already spoken out publicly about what they feel should happen. Coaches, trainers, people are talking about it. What they feel should happen in this situation. But ultimately, the New York State Athletic Commission, they have the final say. They're going to decide if Tank Davis versus Lamar Roach is going to be overturned or if it's going to stay as is. No matter what they decide, this decision is going to be controversial. Because whatever they decide to do, there's going to be a group of people who don't like that decision. Who are going to say, no, that decision is wrong. If they say, hey, look, we're going to leave it as is, we're not going to change it, there's going to be a lot of people that will be upset. That will say, well, the rules of boxing don't mean anything. This fight was rigged. But then we have to see the people who also expect it to be overturned. Big Chicken. Shower with your mama. Oh my God. We got corny people up in here. Peace out. You have a good one. So I'm getting in the shower, blah, blah, blah. So we have to take into consideration, my peoples. It's going to be a controversial decision no matter what. Now, let me just say for everybody, well, it's only 3 of us, but let me just say, my peoples, and keep this in mind. I've already spoke to a few friends of mine on Instagram, on YouTube, and they told me, nah, the decision was already made. They're not going to do anything. That's fake news. No decision has been made. We're still waiting. So I know that there's, people who don't want anything to change. And they're putting fake news out there. Oh, that's it. No, my peoples. As of right now, the New York State Athletic Commission is still reviewing the whole situation, what happened in the 9th round. Tank Davis taking a knee, going to his corner. That's under review. Now, what are they going to do? We don't know. What's up, Viz? I hope the commission don't get bullied or get paid dirty money to make the wrong decision. We're going to find out. I believe that they're on the hot seat because that's it. They already made it public that, there was a glitch in their system. They were not able to review the knee. There was no instant replay. And, it's very clear that there's a rule in boxing that stipulates if you take a knee, that's an automatic point deduction. So, that's why I say, right now they're on the hot seat. They got to make a decision. We already know the review is taking place. What are they going to do? By the way, Canelo Alvarez spoke about it recently. And he said that they should overturn it. They should absolutely overturn it because Roach won that fight. A lot of fighters, not just Canelo Alvarez, a lot of fighters have actually spoke about this and what they think should happen. And for what I've seen thus far, all of the fighters that I've seen talking about it publicly are saying that this decision needs to be overturned. And then there's also, I noticed, and it makes sense, There's a lot of fighters who are not talking about this subject at all. Like, to give you an example, if you cool with Tank Davis, if you friends with Tank Davis, but you feel like it needs to be overturned, you're not gonna say that about your boy. You want to stay quiet. Let me not say nothing. But for what I've seen so far, most of the fighters who have spoken out have said that this decision needs to be overturned. As of right now, it's almost like Tank Davis fans against the world. Because it's only like real hardcore Tank Davis fans who are saying that this decision needs to stay the same. That it needs to be a draw and that it should not be overturned. It's like real hardcore Tank Davis fans. I heard somebody earlier call them the Tankomaniacs. So we just have to see how it all plays out. It's like I told you, my peoples. Right now, I believe that, the commission, they're on the hot seat. And they have to, it's not like they could say, you know what? Let's just let this blow over. People forget about it. And that's it. That's not going to happen. Everybody within the boxing community is waiting for this decision to come down. I got people telling me, watch, it's not going to change. It's not going to change. And when the decision come down, I'm going to say, I told you so. I myself predicted that they're going to overturn the ruling. But I could be wrong. I don't know. I don't actually know. I don't have insider information when it comes to this situation. Viz, Tank fans know that he lost, but they won't admit it. Yo, all I'm saying, you got stopped. What's good, my brother? Justice for Roach. There you have it, my peoples. It's about the rules of boxing being followed. And if you put one fighter above the rules of boxing, that means that you're not a fan of boxing. You're a fan of that fighter. So if you think that people wanting the rules to be followed, they're hating on that fighter, then you're an extremist fan. You want to be a loyal fan and fight for somebody, and you don't really care about the rules. Imp Mom's loyal servant. Do you think Tank needed to fight that hard defensive style to prepare for Shakur? Listen, man. Honestly, fighting Shakur is gonna be very difficult, especially because Tank is a slow starter. And if he gets behind on the cards on Shakur Stevenson and he can't knock him out, he's gonna lose. He's gonna lose on points. You're not gonna outbox Shakur. And I believe this is what happened on this fight. Tank fell behind on the cards, and he just couldn't make it up. When he actually started trying to put his foot on the gas, round number 7, round number 8, that's it. You was behind on the cards. And you know what? In this fight, you could see how frustrated Tank was. How many times did he get hit in the face while he was looking away and complaining to the referee? That's not something that Tank normally does. He was just getting frustrated by Roach because he could not land those big punches that he wanted to land. That knockout blow, that counter left hook and that counter left uppercut, it just wasn't working. It wasn't landing. So, Tank did what he normally does. He started off slow, but when he decided to pick up the pace, nothing happened. Roach, you guys saw Roach wasn't running around. Roach didn't fight the type of fight where Tank was chasing him and people could say, oh, Roach was running and Tank had to chase him around. This guy went toe-to-toe with Tank Davis, who happened to be the strongest, the hardest puncher in the division. Viz says, the commission hopefully makes an example of Tank, or else every fighter from now on will take a knee. Listen, I agree with you 100%, my brother. With this ruling, the New York State Athletic Commission is going to set a precedent. Because if they rule that the result is going to stay the same, then you're saying that other fighters can also take a knee. Now imagine if that becomes a strategy in boxing. I want you to imagine if that becomes a strategy in boxing where fighters who are losing or fighters who are close can step back and take a knee. And that was in the ninth round, my peoples. By the ninth round, you put out a lot of energy. So a nice little break, a nice little pause will come in handy. We're gonna or guys who get hurt. You get hurt, you can take a break, take a knee and take a break. So if the decision stays, you're setting a precedent for future fights that fighters can take a knee. See? So where is the hate in Tank Davis by saying boxing rules need to be followed for everybody, for every single fighter? Not just Tank Davis, not just Tank. Any fighter who takes a knee, there should be an automatic point deduction. That's stipulated in the rules. There's people who have tried to tell me, no, Jay, because the referee, is up to him to decide if he want to count or not. No, my peoples, it's not up to the referee. The referee doesn't decide how or when he follows the rules. Let me give you an example, my peoples. If a fighter gets hit, the referee can rule if it was a slip or a knockdown. If he saw a movement with the feet, he can rule, was that a slip or was that a knockdown? That's up to the referee's discretion. But taking a knee is not up to interpretation, my people. The referee cannot decide if he wants to count or not. And what makes this fight even crazier is that the referee started counting, my peoples. Imam's loyal servant, I appreciate it, my brother. The referee gotta go, brother. Talk to you soon. I know you in Australia, my guy. I appreciate you dropping in. Peace. You gotta think about that, my peoples. The referee actually started counting. And for some weird reason, he just stopped. He decided not to keep counting. So we're never gonna get an explanation as to why the referee stopped talking. But I promise you, the New York State Athletic Commission is going to call him in, or maybe they already called him in and interviewed him and asked him that question. Like, yo, you counted up to like 3, I think. Why did you stop counting if you saw he took a knee? We got to see. We got to see how that plays out. You got to stop. They just talking about the knee, but there's more, giving his back going to the corner and Tank coach with a towel. That's a DQ. Of course, that's a disqualification. And the shoulder that Tank hit Roach with is not 1 point. So look, in that very same instance, it was like a 10-second sequence where there were 3 rules that were broken by Tank Davis. Number 1, he took the knee. Number 2, he turned his back on the referee and walked away. And number 3, he stuck his head out of the ring and his corner climbed the apron and wiped his face. Everything that Tank Davis did from the moment he took a knee up until the moment that they wiped his face was either a point deduction or grounds for disqualification. And I'm talking about as per the rules of boxing. So why would people want to disregard the rules of boxing and say, no, we don't care, it's a draw, just do the rematch, it's a draw? How about the rules? If you're okay with this, right, and I ask everybody this, if you're okay with this and you feel like it should remain a draw, does that mean that you're okay with every fighter taking a knee from now on when they fight? Or are you only okay with Tank doing that? That's the magic question right there. Should every fighter be allowed to take a knee? My peoples, I see 3 of you hit that like button. I appreciate it. Y'all already know what it is. By the way, when you hit that like button, it hits the YouTube algorithm. and they could send this video to more people so they could see it. So anybody hit that like button, I appreciate it, my peoples. I see that tonight a few people also subscribe to the channel. Salute to you, my peoples. I appreciate it. So yeah, man, the New York State Athletic Commission is on the hot seat. They have to make a decision. That decision is gonna come down the pipe real soon, I promise you. What are they gonna do? What do you guys think they're gonna do? Do you think that the commission is gonna leave it as is, or are they gonna overturn the fight result? Because remember, if they decide to award Lamar Roach that point for that knee, he's gonna win on 2 of the scorecards and becomes the majority decision winner of that fight. J-Dub, do you think the commission is going to overturn the decision in Tank Davis versus Lamar Roach fight? I'm going to be honest with you, my brother. I believe that they will. You got stopped and the shoulder. To be honest, I'm not sure if the shoulder is under review. And the reason I say that is because the shoulder wasn't part of that sequence that happened in the 9th round. Remember, what they're reviewing, when Tank Davis took a knee, went to his corner, wiped his face and all that stuff, they had a glitch in their system and they were not able to do an automatic replay. A lot of people don't know this. In New York, they have a replay system available. But they had a glitch and they couldn't use it. So I don't think that the shoulder is up for for review. I think it's only that sequence right there. You got stopped, like you said, my brother. The rules are for something. Now, J-Dub asked the question, do I think they're going to overturn the decision? Honestly, I want to believe that the commission is going to do the right thing. And based off of that, I'm saying they're going to overturn it. If they don't overturn it, then you know how that's going to play out. People are going to say that the sport of boxing is rigged, that there was favoritism for Tank Davis, that, it's all scripted so that he can win. So, that's why I tell people they're on the hot seat, because they're going to have to make a decision real soon, and people are watching. People are waiting for that decision. A lot of fighters already spoke out and say, yo, Lamar Roach won that fight. They're going to have to give him that. J-Dub, but the politics in boxing, and Tank is the A side, the cash cow. So Tank is the A side and the cash cow. I think that's a good argument when it comes to the judges. They might favor him and give him rounds that are close. Every close round, the judges might give it to Tank Davis. But when it comes to the New York State Athletic Commission, that's it. They got to make a decision. They're not going to be able to come out and tell the people, well, listen, we're ruling in Tank Davis's favor because he's the cash cow. They can't do that. They can't do that. Ooh, Puerto Rico in the building. You got stopped. My G, what's the deal? So that's the whole point, my peoples. The New York State Athletic Commission, they got to make a decision based on the rules of boxing. They're not going to be able to tell us, hey, listen, we decided to leave the fight outcome as is. We're not going to overturn it because Tank Davis is the cash cow. They can't do that. They're going to have to make a decision based on the rules. And the rules stipulate that a point deduction was missed. You got stopped, says justice. John Parham, salute, my brother. Good to have you on. So that's what it's all about. Boxing is corrupted. You see what I'm saying? You got stopped. You see how you're saying boxing is corrupted? Guess what? If the decision is not overturned, everybody's going to be saying that. And that's not good for boxing. That's why we got to think, all politics, all business. When everybody starts saying that the sport is corrupt, guess what? Fans stop tuning in. Fans go to MMA and bare knuckle. like they have been doing for the last few years. You know how many fans are tired of things like this happening? That looks like the wrong guy got a decision or they got a favorable decision. Fans will leave the sport of boxing over stuff like this. So it's very important. You see how you're saying boxing is corrupt? It's very important for the New York State Athletic Commission to make the right decision and make people like you and me say, oh, look, they did what they were supposed to. They moving right over there. And now Turkey's making move to make boxing great again. That's facts. That's facts. His Excellency Turkey Al Sheikh making big moves. Now they got a new boxing promotion. They're making big fights consistently. Yep. John Parham. I like how Canelo responded. How he felt about only being one belt at each weight. I like that. I actually like that. One belt. That's it. Make one belt. And listen, Canelo Alvarez, he the type of fighter who he'll call it how he see it too. And you know how Canelo keeps it real? Yo, for the last 2-3 years, Canelo has said that Tank Davis is his favorite fighter to watch. He said it himself. You can look up the videos. He has said it more than once. Tank Davis is my favorite fighter. But after this fight, they asked him. And he said that Lamont Roach won. And they should overturn the decision. He agrees. So that's why I say the New York State Athletic Commission, yo, they're on the hot seat. Because the big names of boxing, the people who are important in the sport of boxing, those who have spoken out, they agree that Tank Davis lost. They agree that this point deduction should have been in effect. And if it is, Lamont Roach wins the fight on 2 of the cards. You know how much pressure right now is on the commission to make the right decision? Yo, I'm going to put it to you like this. Outside of Tank Davis fans, nobody believes that decision needs to stay the same. Nobody. I've been going live for 3-4 days in a row talking about the subject. And it's only Tank Davis fans who want the decision to stay the same. And obviously, if you're a fan of a fighter, we can understand why you're going to defend him. Tooth and nail, kick, scream, scratch, everything. Y'all going to fight for Tank Davis no matter what. We already know that. Tank Davis has a faithful fan base. But outside of Tank Davis fans, everybody believes it should be overturned. Everybody's saying, yo, follow the rules of boxing. Follow the rules for every fighter, not just for Tank Davis, for every fighter. Protect the integrity of the sport. That's the most important thing. If you don't protect the integrity, everybody starts saying this is fake. And when people start feeling like this is fake and the outcome is scripted, they leave to another sport. They go watch something else. That's the reason MMA blew up the way that it did. You know how many people used to be boxing fans that now they only rock with MMA and with bare knuckle? Because they got tired of it. They got tired of it. El Musa, remember who is his mentor? Mayweather. I mean, you know, Floyd Mayweather, he got his power. You know, he got a lot of money. But at the end of the day, this whole situation is under review by a commission that is independent of Floyd Mayweather. Now, I don't know if he could send them a bag. Here, take this money and leave the outcome as is. I mean, Floyd Mayweather has the money to do that. So, we're going to find out. Is the commission corrupt? Are they under controlled by people outside, by people in Tank Davis' team? Or are they going to do what's right? Are they gonna follow the rules? John Parham, I appreciate you. You see, my peoples, John Parham is reminding y'all, man, hit that like button, my peoples. Don't be cheap. My voice hurt from cooking with y'all. Hit that like button, man. And if you haven't subscribed to Box Center, yo, subscribe to Box Center, my peoples. Get this original content. Get somebody who's gonna give y'all that real boxing talk. No bias, no clickbait content. If you go check out my videos, you see I'm giving it to you how it is. Anybody who says I'm a Tank hater, those are just the tankomaniacs who they don't give a damn about the rules of boxing. Now, let's not confuse tankomaniacs with Tank Davis fans who are boxing fans who admit, hey, look, he lost. Or, hey, look, they need to follow the rules no matter what it is. Just follow the rules, man. That's it. And like I told you, my peoples, we're going to find out soon enough. Soon enough, we're going to find out. And the New York State Athletic Commission is only one or two things going to happen. Number one, after they make the decision, people are going to say, wow, man, those people, they did the right thing. They were not controlled by anybody who got money. They did not rule for somebody because they're a superstar. They just did the right thing. Or they're going to make a decision and people are going to be like, you see, boxing is corrupt. Boxing is rigged. Those aren't boxing fans. They're just Tank fans. A Boogie 616, you 100% right. There's a lot of Tank Davis fans who they're not really fans of boxing. They don't give a damn about the rules in boxing. They just want to protect Tank no matter what. Somebody told me today, yo, listen, if they overturn Tank Davis, they need to overturn Canelo Alvarez and Erislandis Lara. I'm like, bro, that fight happened how many years ago? Nobody took a knee. Nobody went to the corner. Nobody got help from the coach. What the hell is you talking about? Nah, they need to overturn that because Lara got cheated. But, bro, there's no rules to review in that fight. What are you doing? So it's gotten to that point where Tank Davis fans are bringing up all these different fights that don't even have nothing to do with what happened in this one. What are we doing? Now, am I a hater for wanting to protect the integrity of the sport? How could that be? How could that be? I'm not trying to hate on Tank. As soon as I talk about the rules, Tank Davis fans be like, nah, because you want Tank to lose. Who told you? El Musa, he can't have a loss without a KO. I mean, we got to see. Because right now, if they overturn the decision, he's going to have a loss on his record. That's why, listen, this is going to be one of the most controversial decisions that we've seen in a long time. Because no matter what they decide, there's going to be a group of people who are not going to like it. You got to stop. Nobody hates. It's just do things by the rules. Yo, a lot of Tank Davis fans, man, they don't want to hear about the rules. Anything that is not in Tank Davis's favor, it makes you a hater. You want to talk about following the rules, and those rules are going to affect Tank Davis, you're a hater. That's what I've been getting. I've been getting that for 3 days. People knocking me. People telling me that I'm a hater. So all I'm going to say is, at the end of the day, we're waiting for the commission to make a ruling. And by the way, my peoples, I've had a lot of people already today tell me, nah, they already said no. They already said that they're not overturning anything. That's fake news, my peoples. Don't let nobody feed you fake news. Or don't be that person spreading fake news. Trust me, when the commission makes a decision, it's going to be viral. every single boxing channel, every YouTube channel, every boxing network, sporting network is going to let you know, yo, the decision came down and this is what's happening. So to the people spreading the fake news, like, nah, they already said no. Stop it. Stop it. Stop doing that. That's just fake news. By the way, the WBA, they think they slick. The WBA put out a statement saying that in their opinion, there's nothing wrong with what the referee did, and they're going to pursue a rematch. But I want you to keep this in mind, my people. The WBA, as a sanctioning body, gets a percentage of the money from the champion's purse. Tank Davis is the highest paid 135 pound fighter. He's the highest paid guy, which means to the WBA, it's the best of their interest for Tank Davis to stay the champion. Of course they're going to be okay with the referee not deducting a point. They want Tank Davis to be a champion. He makes them the most money. But for those who think that the WBA made a ruling, the WBA has absolutely nothing to do with this review. They have no control of this review. No decision making. They simply put their opinion out there to sway public opinion. Well, the WBA said they're cool with it. That's what they're doing. They want to sway the public opinion because they want Tank Davis to be the champion. You think Tankomaniacs want Tank Davis to be the champion no matter what? The WBA want Tank Davis to be the champion no matter what. Because they make a lot more money with Tank being the champion. Simple as that. El Musa, Mayweather has some very ugly finishes. Nothing happened. My brother, this is not an ugly finish. This is a point deduction that was missed. Floyd Mayweather never had that. That's the problem. One thing is a controversial decision from the judges. Mayweather had a couple of controversial decisions from the judges. And it's a different thing, my brother, a rule that was not followed. The knee down, the corner helping you, wiping your face, those are rules that were not followed. Floyd Mayweather never had that, my brother. He never had that. So, in this fight, nobody's reviewing the judge's decision. That's what you're talking about. Floyd Mayweather had decision from judges that people didn't like. I get that. Floyd Mayweather versus Maidana the first time, and Floyd Mayweather versus Castillo the first time. People felt like Castillo beat Floyd and like Maidana beat Floyd. But that's the judge's decision. Right now, the problem is not the decision. The problem is the point deduction that was not taken. That's a rule. That's a rule the referee did not follow. What makes it even worse is that the referee started counting and then he just stopped out of nowhere. King of B-More, how do you feel about Dana White and boxing coming together? TKO. Lord Frieza, salute my brother. So King of B-More, I like the fact that Dana White is joining His Excellency Turki Al Sheikh and they're going to be in boxing now. And I'm going to tell you why. And by the way, my peoples, hit that like button, man. Come on, help me out with that like button. Subscribe if you haven't done so. I'm going to tell you why, King of B-More, I like the decision for Dana White to join boxing. Dana White specifically said, we're in an era of boxing where everybody's protecting that O. And that's the reason why we don't get a lot of big fights. That's the reason why Tank Davis hasn't fought any of the best fighters in the division. Hasn't faced Teofimo, hasn't faced Devin Haney, hasn't faced Shakur Stevenson. Hasn't faced any of the best. And what Dana White said is that they're even signing fighters who have multiple losses on their resume because they don't care about undefeated records. We're just going to pay you a lot of money to fight in this promotion, and we're going to try to make the best fights. That's why in MMA, if you look at all the best fighters in the history of MMA, yo, most of them got losses. One loss, two losses, three losses. Why? Because they keep matching up the best fighters with each other. So Dana White, His Excellency Turki Al-Sheikh, that's what they're going to do. Look what Turki Al-Sheikh did. He's the one that made Dmitry Bivol and Arthur Beterbiev. Those two was undefeated. Now they both got a loss on their resume. So they're trying to bring back boxing to that state where it doesn't matter if you have a loss. People still going to respect you. People still going to support you. Because it's these new social media boxing fans who, as soon as a fighter take a loss, oh, he's a bum. Oh, he's a hype job. Oh, they start discrediting him. Dana White is trying to bring boxing back to what it used to be. If you look at the 70s, the 80s, the 90s, even the early 2000s, the best fighters were fighting each other. And the best fighters were lost fights. Even from before that, if you look at Muhammad Ali, Joe Frazier, if you look at Tito Trinidad, Oscar De La Hoya, if you look at George Foreman, if you look at Sugar Ray Leonard, Duran, Hagler, Tommy Hearns, all of them fighters had losses, multiple losses. If you make a list of the top 50 greatest fighters of all time, they all got losses, my peoples. I mean, if you put Floyd Mayweather and Rocky Marciano on that list, okay, they didn't have losses. But everybody has losses. So they trying to bring it back to that. Put the best to fight each other. And stop the madness that people protecting that in the resume. They don't want to see that no more. Remember Ortiz versus Mayweather? The finish was ugly. Nothing happened. Okay. No rule was broken. Both guys were fighting dirty. Both guys, Ortiz headbutted him. Then Floyd Mayweather punched him. Yo, it wasn't cheating what Floyd Mayweather did. Protect yourself at all time. The referee said go. Ortiz tried to tap hands. Floyd Mayweather knocked him out. Come on, El Musa. Are you going to compare that to Tank Davis taking a knee and walking to his corner, taking a timeout? That did not happen in Floyd Mayweather versus Ortiz. That's why I keep saying Tank Davis fans, they looking for other fights to try to compare. But no. None of those fights compared to what Tank Davis did in this fight. None of them, my peoples. Ortiz versus Floyd has nothing to do with Tank Davis taking a knee and pausing the action. That's why I keep saying Tank Davis fans keep bringing up other fights where this did not happen. And this is what I don't understand. Why would you bring up all these other fights, but you don't bring up the rules? You don't want to talk about the rules. Because that's what this is about. Tank Davis took a knee in the middle of the round, and there was no point deduction. That's the rule. That's what's under review right now. So when you bring up, well, wait a minute, because this fighter fought this fighter and it was ugly in the finish. What does an ugly finish got to do with a rule being broken? Absolutely nothing, my brother. John Parham. King, not a lot of elite boxers have a loss. That's why. King of B-More, do you believe if you take a loss, it jeopardizes your career because of Mayweather when he said he has 0 loss? I mean, to be honest, it's not because of Mayweather. It's because of the fans. New boxing fans, as soon as a fighter take a loss, they discredit you. They say you're a hype job. You're a bum. You lost already. It always happens. And it's been like that for like the last 5, 6, maybe even longer, for like 10 years already. Where boxing fans discredit a fighter as soon as they take a loss. So at the end of the day, fighters see this and they're like, yo, I don't want to risk taking a loss because the fans are going to turn on me right away. Fighters don't want to risk it anymore. They want to try to stay undefeated because they feel like, yo, they're going to turn on me. And you know what? That's where England they have a better fan base. England has a better fan base than the US. And I feel bad saying that. Like, it almost sounds crazy and controversial. But I'm going to prove it to you. Look at fighters from England. And I'm not talking about the big names. I'm talking about fighters that are fighting in England, fighting for titles in England, for local titles. Yo, them dudes be 20-0 versus 18-0. Boom, fighting each other. Then a rematch, boom. Now they both got a loss on their record. Guys be 22-0 and 18-0, boom, they fight each other. Now somebody doesn't have that O anymore. And guess what? When those guys lose, the England fan base support them anyway. When Sonny Edwards lost, yo, he still had a huge fan base going to support him. So that's the one thing that I like about England fans. When their fighters lose, they support them anyway. It's like over there, it's like old school. They have that old school mentality of we're going to support you, win, lose, or draw. But in the U.S., soon as you take a loss, oh, nah, he's a hype job. Look, he lost. Oh, and he lost to this guy, and he lost to that guy. Look what happens with Teofimo. As soon as you try to give Teofimo some credit for what he's done, you got a whole fan base that'll say, nah, he lost to Cambosos. He a hype job because Cambosos beat him. It's like people don't understand that on any given day, any fighter can lose. That's the reality of the sport of boxing. Any fighter can lose on any given day, my peoples. That doesn't make you a bum. That doesn't make you a hype job. That doesn't make you a bad fighter. These guys are fighting at the highest level. And the thing is that for whatever reason, people believe that if you're not a superstar, you're not supposed to beat the famous guys. So because George Cambosos is not a superstar, it makes Teofimo a hype job to lose to him. There isn't that understanding that, yo, Cambosos is a very good fighter at a high level. He's not one of the best. He's not one of the elite. But you don't have to be one of the best to beat one of the best fighters. You just have to have your best night. We've seen that a million times. That's what you don't understand. Look, this elite level fighter can fight a very good fighter who is an elite. And if the elite is not on his game and this guy's having the best night of his life, he can beat the elite level guy. That doesn't mean that the elite level fighter is no longer elite because he lost. Fighters lose, my people. Especially at that high level. They lose. That happens. So Dana White is trying to bring boxing back to that. To where we're going to make all the best fight each other. And everybody's going to start losing again. Boxing is going to be what it used to be. No more protecting the O. No more of that. I'm tired of seeing fighters protecting the O. I'm tired of seeing fighters, who... Man, listen, there's fighters out there who got a record of 30-0, and you never heard of none of their opponents. How you 30-0 and I don't know none of your opponents? None of them dudes ever fought for a title, ever been at any high level that you can say, oh yeah, this guy's that dude. Come on now. Boxing fans, we should all be tired of fighters protecting their O. So I asked the magic question. The New York State Athletic Commission is reviewing this outcome. What do you guys think is going to happen? Do you think they're going to overturn the decision? Or do you think they're going to leave it as is? Remember, I'm not asking you what you want to happen. I'm asking you what you think is going to happen. Um, you are so handsome, bro. Okay, that has nothing to do with boxing, my brother. So I appreciate it, but another comment about how I look, you're gonna have to take a time out, buddy. So again, my peoples, I asked the magic question. The New York State Athletic Commission is reviewing this case. What do you think they're gonna say? Are they gonna leave it as is, or are they going to overturn the decision? What do you think? King of B-more, I know I'm from Baltimore, and it might sound like I'm riding with Tank, but I think they're going to leave it as it is. Now, my brother, look, that's fair enough. Not because you necessarily riding with Tank, but there's a lot of people who think that they're gonna leave it as is for different reasons. There's people who think they're gonna leave it as is because it's a business, it's more money if it stays with Tank, politics, bias. There's a lot of different reasons. So if that's how you see it, my brother, that's cool. Um, so my peoples, I'm gonna drop off. I want to thank everybody who joined. There's only two of us left. I want to thank everybody who hit that like button. King of B-more, John Pyram. Shout out to you, my brother. Definitely, I believe that there is going to be a rematch no matter what. Whether they decide to overturn it or leave it as is, I believe there's going to be a rematch. My people, I appreciate y'all rocking with me. Y'all already know, man. Tomorrow, 9 a.m. Eastern Time, we're going to get down. You already know what this is, man. This is Jay Smith. This is Box Center, your favorite boxers, favorite boxing show. I'll see you tomorrow, my peoples. One love. Bam. We out.